Rajiv, you're currently in Montreux, Switzerland, to give a speech about the global economic outlook to some of the world's leading asset managers and family offices. With the Strait of Hormuz closure having disrupted world oil and gas markets, how do you see the near term economic outlook for the world economy?
I think the world economy has been quite resilient despite the closure of the Strait of Hormuz because countries were able to use their emergency oil reserves to supply their domestic markets. However, if the Strait of Hormuz closure continues for any protracted period of time, that will increasingly act as a drag on global economic growth and will also push up inflation pressures further. That may force central banks in many countries to tighten monetary policy. However, if the Strait of Hormuz reopens by the middle of this year, say by the end of June, then I think that opens the pathway to better economic growth in the second half of 2026 as oil prices come down sharply, and also will allow central banks to keep rates on hold, or some countries may actually allow monetary policy to be eased if oil prices come down dramatically. When we look at the Asia Pacific region, it has actually been pretty resilient to these shocks, and growth has been pretty strong in the first half of 2026. China has still clocked growth of around about 5% per year in the early months of this year. And India has still been going relatively well. We've seen very strong growth in South Korea and Taiwan due to the semiconductor supercycle, which has helped to drive their exports of AI chips and other electronics that are required for the AI revolution.
What are some of the key risk factors facing multinationals in the next 12 months?
Geopolitical risks remain very much at the forefront of concerns for multinationals, with conflict in the Middle East, the Russia-Ukraine war, and other tensions between regional powers in many parts of the world. Another key risk is from cybercrime, as the technology revolution enables bad actors to use increasingly sophisticated technology to penetrate companies and financial institutions. So I think a key focus for companies worldwide in the near to medium-term outlook will be to ramp up their spending in terms of strengthening their defense systems against cybercrime